Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Kapi Ho, and it's my honor to serve as the chair of the Lakeland Foundation Board of Directors. Welcome to our 23rd annual Donor Scholar Breakfast in this amazing space. For those who have attended this breakfast in the past, you know that this event is one of the highlights of our year. It's great to hear from supporters like Kathy Patterson, who, like so many of you here today, have made a real difference over the years for Lakeland and for our students. And it's always wonderful to hear from our students, many who have navigated some challenges in life, but with the help of donors like Kathy and you, are now in the path to succeed at Lakeland. And so thank you for joining us this morning. We promised to conclude the program at 9:30. And for the program today, we're first going to hear from Lakeland's president, Dr. Morris Beveridge. Then Greg Sanders, the Lakeland Foundation's executive director and vice president of institutional advancement. You got a long title here. Introduce each of our speakers who will share their personal stories. And then we'll conclude breakfast with some final remarks. Before I invite Morris to the podium, I want to recognize all our wonderful supporters in the audience. Firstly, all who are donors to the Lakeland Foundation, please stand and be recognized. All who are students at Lakeland, please stand and be recognized. Everyone who is a family member or a friend of our students, supporting them in achieving their dreams, please stand and be recognized. With us today, the following members of the Lakeland Foundation Board of Directors are with us: Morris Beveridge, Pete Clausen, Don Daly, Nancy Guthrie, John Langer, Kay Malik, John Paganini, Ken Quiggle, Mark Ruth, Rick Stark, and Brendan Tropido. Please stand and be recognized. We're also pleased to have members of the Lakeland Community College Board of Trustees: Kay Malik, Ken Quiggle, and soon-to-be Emeritus Trustee Kip Molnar. Please stand. We also have several members of the Lakeland Community College Alumni Hall of Fame: Melissa Amsbach, Jesse Baginski, Lori Cassatt, Paul Hack, Greg Sanders, and Rick Stark. Please stand. I would also like all the Lakeland employees to stand. Thank you for making a difference for all of us here today. Whether as donors by ensuring that our foundation, financial aid office, business office, our academic divisions, and all of the college's efforts come together to enhance our students' success. A final thank you to everyone: students, donors, Lakeland employees, elected officials, and board members. We appreciate the impact that you're making at Lakeland, and it's an honor to be part of this Lakeland family. I'd now like to turn it over to Morris Beveridge, President of Lakeland.
Good morning. Not bad. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's the bacon? Yeah, right. Nobody cares how many pieces of bacon you have this morning, so please help yourself. Greg, you do have a long title, and as you're finding out, titles are cheap. Welcome to Hive. How many are here for the first time in the new building? Isn't this phenomenal? Doesn't it make you want to come back to college? We have application forms. You know, I was reminded about the impact of the Lakeland Foundation recently in the role that you play in the success of our students. Prior to this project and the Futures Rising campaign, we had a campaign to help build and operate the Holden University Center. Remember that? I think it's in its 8th year. And this year we'll be graduating well over 100 students, which will bring our total graduates from programs over at the Holden University Center to just under 1,000 students. That's phenomenal. But that's the kind of impact that our foundation is having for our students, and so we thank you for that. In 2016, the Lakeland Foundation launched the Futures Rising campaign for student success. Since that time, the Lakeland Foundation has raised more than $8 million in philanthropic gifts and more than $1 million through federal and state grants. These dollars support scholarships, programs, innovation and teaching, and student success initiatives. Our work with IDEO, a human-centered design innovation firm, was generously funded by the Key Foundation and the Cleveland Foundation. And we have a number of folks from Key Bank here this morning. We thank you for your support of what we're trying to accomplish here, so thanks for being here. This has enabled us to take a deep dive into human-centered design that will revamp the ways in which we work with our students. The Lakeland Foundation plays a vital role in making scholarships available for students. So far this year, over 500 students have benefited from $554,000 in scholarship awards from funds raised by the foundation. This represents an average award of more than $1,000 per student. The foundation works continuously to develop new scholarship and program funds. In the past year, the foundation established 10 new distinct funds. Some of those include the Joseph Georgian Endowed Scholarship Fund, Robert Rispoli Endowed Scholarship Fund, and Jerry Lee is in attendance. Where are you, Jerry? There you are. Thank you. The Bob Kenyon Endowment to Prevent Student Hunger. Bob, you're here as well. Thank you. The Wimp Moyer Endowed Scholarship Fund. Wimp's granddaughter is in attendance, Nicole Harvey. Where's Nicole? Thank you for being here. Oh, who's behind you there waving? Your daughter. What's that? What's her name? What is it? Who? Julia? That's my granddaughter's name too. You want to come stand up here with me? Come on up. Yeah, come on. I knew your great-grandfather when I was about that tall. Not quite. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Here, come on over here. You can help me do this.
Yay.
All right, I'm going to do this one, then you do that one, okay?
Okay.
All right. The Pereira Scholarship Fund, Bert Deal, you're here. Where's Bert? Oh, way in the back, way in the back. All right, you get to do that one.
Margaret W. Wong International Student Scholarship Fund.
Not bad. Do this one, too.
James K. Collins Memorial and Down Scholarship Fund?
Scholarship.
Scholarship Fund?
Yeah, but that's close enough.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you nervous at all?
What?
Are you nervous at all? A little bit?
Yeah, that's all.
I'm scared to death. It's clear that our Futures Rising campaign continues to promote the establishment of funds that serve our students in many ways. All right, you get to do this one.
Will all of you with us today who have donated to Future Rising please stand so we can show our appreciation for your generosity.
Thank you. Julia, you're doing phenomenal.
Thank you.
Really. What's your last name?
Harvey.
Harvey? Huh. Why is that your last name?
Because that's my mom's last name.
Oh, that's good. Good point. All right. We believe that every student has the right to succeed, And with your philanthropic support, we are continually developing innovative ways to help make that happen. You want to take us home?
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to thank all of you who are with us today, our donors for their continued wonderful generosity, and our students. Your hard work will put us on a path to success today and well into the future.
How about a hand for Julia? We're done. Future student.
Well, I knew I had to. This is the first time I've been at the podium for this event. My name is Greg Sanders. I'm the executive director of the Lakeland Foundation. I knew I had to follow our board chair, Ann Morris. Little did I know I had to follow Julia Harvey today as well. So, thanks for that, and great job, Julia. Well done. Wanted to say thank you. I know the first two speakers have said that, but I can tell you firsthand, because I've been a student here and now I work here, the impact that philanthropy has made, is making, and will make for our students. I'm going to get out of the way here very quickly and introduce the speakers. But the common thread that I've heard when I've spoken with the people who you're about to hear from is triumph, overcoming some adversity in their life, and the fact that Lakeland and philanthropy has played a positive role in the success that they have achieved and will achieve going forward. So again, I can't say thank you enough for what you're doing for our students, for this college, and in turn in our community. So I'll be introducing Ramir Guilford first. Ramir attended Painesville Harvey High School and is studying psychology here at Lakeland. He anticipates graduation in spring of 2020, after which he plans to pursue a doctorate in psychology. He is a mentor for leadership development in the Pathfinders program at the Lakeland's Men's Center. He's the assistant manager for Lake Effect Radio, and he's an affiliate member of the Gamers Guild. Ramir established OPM Global Record Company, which stands for Opportunity, Power, and Motivation, a company that supports music artists through relationship building, networking, and mentoring. In his spare time, Ramir also volunteers with the Calvary CME Church Food Pantry. Please join me in welcoming Ramir to the stage.
Thank you. I don't know how to do this after Julia. Golly, you guys make people sound real good, so whoever wrote that, they need a raise. So just let me take everything in. Let me look at all you beautiful people. So this is very nerve-wracking, standing up here in front of a lot of people and sharing my story, but I do want to thank everybody that came, and especially Pathfinders, Jim Shelley, really humble guy, him, Matt Murray, and everything that happened at the Men's Resource Center. So that looks pretty nice. Y'all looks pretty nice right there. So this is a example of IDEO marketing, being a part of the college and being a part of the example that's set here. But I wanted to tell you guys, share a story with you. And the story I wanted to share with you is about a young boy, a genius without a platform, and a compassionate young woman with more clothes on her furniture than I had at home, and a piano in her house. The story basically, how these two people met and how they got involved, it's really not important who they are, but how they got involved and what happened here. And how the woman and this young boy from two different backgrounds came together, God knows. But the connection would create such a big impact, the two legacies, and it's always based on an investment. The investment this woman made was risky in some places. It could have been taboo, but nothing short of outstanding. I'm sure the family hasn't entertained many black children at their home, yet I'm sure social pressure and any other things wouldn't have stopped this woman from doing what her heart told her to do, which was invest. What was this investment? The investment was in a bright-eyed child who, despite the curly hair and brown skin, could fit into the Andrews School, stand toe-to-toe with any child in the spelling bee, and out sing the Mississippi Mass Choir. Just a ball of energy ready to express, yet no platform. No way to show the world that, yes, I am here. I can be your next ballet choreographer. I can be your next art museum director. I can be your next president. This young woman saw a need. She saw a child with all the ingredients for success, but not the exposure, not the real stuff that matters in life, money. She realized that if all that wasn't an issue, then we had a job to do. So she sang, she watched, fed, laughed, smiled, and hugged that little boy into a different world, filled with possibilities and endless potential. The things that he was embarrassed about being good at, she taught him that he was unique, that it was a unique skill that only he had, and that only he could develop. She didn't do it for him, but she did provide the platform and encouraged him through. But like all things in life, nothing lasts forever, and the little boy wasn't to be seen again. In the fairy tale world, the boy and the woman would grow up together, reaching pinnacles, creating memories, training to be great. But in real life, the mother couldn't squeeze time out of 3 jobs or even have enough money for a 35-cent bus ticket. While the young woman was building young futures and breaking barriers through inspiration, the boy was being broken into poverty and racism. While she held banquets to raise funds with the elite, him and his mother and brothers were standing at food banks, and sometimes he would throw up waiting to eat. And while she was giving people a freedom through love and compassion, he had become a victim and a career criminal. After losing touch, life took a dramatic turn. The boy without the exposure and the nurturing needed to transform his talents would be lost in a system of group homes, mental facilities, jails, and a close call with death after a gunshot 3 inches from his heart, a product of his environment. Instead of impacting lives, his purpose was being wasted, his talents misguided and boxed out. And she saw that. She saw that class was the only separation, despite the fact that she could change the world, but she could not change his skin color. Yet she had an idea. If she made an investment and took a chance, would she get a return? Would she be able to impact the world? From watching his father die at 12, incarceration, drugs, setbacks, abandonment, betrayal, the young boy could only dream to be with this young woman. He would wish he could live with her in her big house, with more clothes on the furniture than he had at home and a piano inside. And I guess the old man was good enough. He was all right. But the husband questioned the wife, "Are you sure?" Yes, she was sure. Did zebras have stripes? She saw the way that he picked up. All he needed was love and someone to show him that he'll be great. So try to imagine those conversations and the feelings about this child in this woman's home and her family and the stigma. But she didn't care, and he didn't either. They loved each other, and then he was gone. Both of them wondering. I'm pretty sure they both wondered what happened. He always wondered. He never forgot. He actually created an idea similar to hers based on her inspiration and wanted to thank her. And as destiny would have it, on a random conversation, the compassionate young woman with a piano in the house and more clothes on the furniture than I had at home had passed away. But wait, she did have a husband who stood up for their vision and built relentless, overcoming obstacles and cultural differences with her. And he was alive. And I wanted to say thank you for giving me that story to tell, because it's also his story. The story, ladies and gentlemen, is about an investment that this woman made, which really didn't cost anything. She just invested love in the platform. And that boy is now a man. He's standing here today. I didn't forget the investment this woman made. And I worked and I built and I stayed dedicated and I walked away from near death and poverty, and I'm building a nonprofit based on what I was taught and the investment that was made in me. And that same investment some of you have made or are planning to make. And I want to thank you and that woman today and her husband for knowing that the investment that she put in, all the money in the world is worthless if it wasn't about helping. She built, she exposed, and she let go of prejudice. Ladies and gentlemen, that young woman was Mrs. Louise D. Savage. In honor of her, I've created a youth program based on arts and technology to improve digital literacy. I also have utilized Lakeland and its arts as a member of the radio station and here active in the Hive, creating things, being an example. So thanks to Jim Shelley, Pathfinders, I am here. I am an example of you guys' investment. And Mrs. Savage, her investment has paid off. Your donors' investments. My own mother is a scholarship recipient. So thank you on behalf of my family and all the students here who have been helped. And I just challenge you to take Mr. and Mrs. Savage's example and invest. Because of their investment, I'm making a difference in my community. Thank you. Oh. By the way, I have not received a scholarship yet. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Next, I'd like to introduce Matthew Bogo. Matthew graduated from Lake Catholic High School in 2002. He's currently studying business at Lakeland, but is also interested in psychology. He is the vice president of the Lakeland chapter of the Student Veterans of America, which was recently recognized as one of the top 5 SVA chapters in the nation. Matthew served in the U.S. Navy for 10.5 years until March of 2017 and was a recruiter for the U.S. Navy Recruiting Office in Mentor. Matthew owns a t-shirt company, Cleveland Bread, which donates its sales proceeds to support the needs of veterans. He has also volunteered with community organizations such as the American Legion, the Knights of Columbus, and Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Matthew and members of the Lakeland SVA chapter are currently working on a proposal to bring a service dog program to the Lakeland campus with the goal of having it accredited through the Ohio Board of Education. Matthew?
Good morning, and welcome to all. I want to tell you a little bit more about myself as I begin. I started my service in the U.S. Navy in February of 2007. I graduated boot camp as honor graduate and was automatically promoted to the next rank. In my job training, I graduated top of my class, was automatically promoted again. I volunteered and served in Afghanistan in 2009. Upon return, once again, I advanced. Before I knew it, I was running my own work center as an E5. I then applied and was accepted recruiting duty. Within a year of being a recruiter, I moved to another station to run that station as a lead petty officer. I had just served over 10 years in the Navy. You may ask, why did I stop? Well, medical held me back. I'm 100% disability. I have a broken right hand. I have a torn ligament in my right hand. I have carpal tunnel in both wrists. I have cubital tunnel in my right elbow. I have 2 tears in my right labrum. I have a torn rotator cuff in my left shoulder. I have AC joint in both shoulders. I have a torn meniscus in my right knee. I've had 2 traumatic brain injuries. I've had 3 TIAs, mini strokes. I have spinal stenosis in my CNL spine. I have disc degeneration throughout. And I also have fibromyalgia. What I can tell you is the transition of a successful Navy man to an everyday citizen is not easy. But I wasn't done doing my part. I started my own company in 2014. I want to continue my support. I want to continue that support of this great country and its veterans. As a part of my sale and the proceeds go to veterans organizations. I was brought into Lakeland by our SVA program because I was a recruiter and I was involved here. Thank God to our president. Alex, please stand up. Thank you. As our president, he's done amazing things, bringing us together as a family. And we are all grateful for having him in a leadership position that we do. Thank you, Alex. They gave me guidance, an understanding of who I was again. The faculty and staff here made me feel the fear again. Fear. Yeah, that fear of failure. that fear that drives me to be successful. To never quit, to never give up. Anything in life worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation's for cowards. This community here at Lakeland has a great understanding of its students and their needs to succeed. Without you, this is not possible. I may be disabled, but I am not dead. The staff has gone above and beyond to understand my accommodations and my conditions. They care for each student, not only a teacher, but as a mentor. Without the overwhelming support and guidance of our family here at Lakeland, I would not be standing in front of you here today. It is this family that inspires me to be successful. I would like to thank a few of them now. Browner, Consolo, Zhang, LeMay, Stump, Tuckerman, Weber. They're the ones that help guide us, help us get to where we want to be. And through your generosity and support, it's not possible. I'm going to leave you with a little quote by Admiral McRaven. Make your bed every morning. Start with the task completed. For it is the little details that will help you succeed. Even if you have a rough day, you will come home to a bed that is made, reminding yourself, no matter how bad your day was, you accomplished something. So get up every morning, knowing you can accomplish something every day. No matter how big or how small that may be, wake up and make your bed. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Next is Rashima Hussein. Rashima attended John Hay High School and expects to graduate this May with her associate degree in accounting. After graduation, she plans to pursue her bachelor's degree at Notre Dame College, her master's degree, and to sit for the CPA exam. Rashima is currently an officer in the Lakeland Student Government and holds the position of academic liaison, and she is involved in the programs at Lakeland Women's Center. Rashima has a long record of volunteerism, from tutoring to neighborhood cleanups to painting projects with United Way. Rashima?
Good morning. Hopefully we're done with the snow. It's a little windy when we came in. First, I would like to thank the donors that have graciously contributed to the success of the students at Lakeland. I'm thankful to be one of those students. Thanks to you, I will graduate this year with my associate's degree in accounting. It has been a goal of mine for a long time. I also want to thank Mary and Gloria and the Women's Center. If it were not for Mary's desire to help women that were close to achieving their degree but faced financial barriers, I may not be here today. When she contacted me to let me know there was a scholarship that would help me to finish my accounting degree, I was so excited, but I was also a little apprehensive. I was working very long hours in an accounting department, but from like 8 to 3 or 4 in the morning, and I did not see a way to come back to school. I had really given up on the thought that I would complete school anytime soon. She talked to me for a while and alleviated my fears and convinced me that there may never be a perfect time, so I might as well just do it. So I did. That was the best decision that I made. It opened up a lot of doors for me and allowed me to not only be involved with her at the Women's Center, but meet a whole nother department with Lakeland Student Government. And there I met Mario, Christina, and Krista, who have been there just like Mary and Gloria through any adversities that I have encountered. And this semester, I had a situation where a very close family member, he's still in critical condition. He almost died in the beginning of the semester, and it's been a challenge going through that. And throughout this, Mario and Christina have been there offering their help. That's one of the great things about Lakeland, that the people that are here, they really have a concern for the students. They really want to help to see you succeed. I have also learned many things regarding leadership and teamwork through working with Lakeland Student Government. It feels good to be involved in creating a positive experience for other students. We're required to listen to the needs of the students at Lakeland and come up with solutions or provide direction to other departments. Provide them direction to the other departments that can solve their problems. And I work with a great group of people. So now I feel like I'm on the other side of that, where before I was always needing the help, now I can help to provide it. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank the donors and show my appreciation. I'm a little nervous up here speaking, and you probably see it, but looking out at you smiling makes me feel a little better about it. But anyway, thank you very much.
And now I'll introduce Jamal Parks. Jamal is a 2010 graduate of Villa Angela St. Joseph High School and is studying business management with a concentration in entrepreneurship. He will graduate this May and is planning a career in social media and brand marketing for businesses. Jamal takes what he has learned in his business management courses and applies them to his own startup, including a radio podcast entitled Colored Radio, which Jamal launched and hosts, and which has access to musicians and artists around the country. Jamal.
Hello, everyone. Hey, how you doing? That's right. All right. I'm Jamal. I'm Jamal Parks. I'll start with this. How many of you are in the career you wanted to be in as a child? Raise your hand. A few. Now, how many of you wanted to be something else when you were growing up? Pretty much majority. So, I say that to say this. I wanted to be a pro wrestler. All right? And you hope for it, you watch TV, and you're like, oh, I can do this. But then you figure out, like, oh, I like pizza rolls better. I like video games better. So I decided I wanted to be a game designer. It made sense to me. I like video games. I like eating pizza rolls. I can game design. So that was my path from 8th grade to college. So I started at St. Aloysius. My mother somehow pulled off 12 years of Catholic school, private Catholic school. And she went to work from 4 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. p.m. So I would get up by myself. I caught 3 buses every day in high school to St. Joe's, and probably missed maybe 4 days out of 4 years or something like that. That comes from my mother. She has a catchphrase, and I felt like at that time all parents had a certain catchphrase that they stuck by and said all the time. So hers was, they can take everything from you, but they can't take your education. Now she would say that when I got D's, when I got C's, when I got B's, and I got A's. It was just one of those things that she put in me from day one, and I carry that with me till this day. I
I grew up in Cleveland. When I say I grew up in Cleveland, I have to say it twice. I grew up in Cleveland. So, inner city Cleveland. I'll say that it's what you think of it when you hear it. It's poverty, it's heartache, it's happiness as well. It's fun. I'm the product of that. And going 3 buses every day and seeing different lifestyles and different types of people kind of puts you on a path to keep going because you see there's more out there. So I kept that hope that I could be that game designer. Grade-wise, I was a good student. I could say I did the math. I said I could do this much amount of homework and not do this much amount of homework and still pass. That was my goal. I didn't get the concept of putting in that work that sophomore year, their freshman year. So junior year, I kicked it in a notch. I got honors for the first time. Really focused in on getting into Kent State. So senior year comes around, everybody's getting in, boom, boom, and I do not get in. So that begins my college career. My college career goes from CSU for a semester, Tri-C for a semester, Kent State for a year because I got my grades up and got in, Kent State for a year, and I'm ready to go back, everything's going perfect, and then I get an email saying, hey, yo, $3,500 in a month and a half. And I'm like, oh, what happened? Call up, they said, well, your mom made about $250 more. So you can't come back for real until you pay that $3,500. So I didn't go back to Kent. Game design dreams canceled. That's the only place that has that degree that I wanted. So I went back to Tri-C. And anybody that has known Tri-C, it's that first 3 weeks you see a lot of people. That last couple weeks you see nobody. So that that type of mindset doesn't really give you hope. And that's what I keep coming back to. The hope the donors give with money is priceless because the hope I got from even discovering Lakeland was a big relief. I walked into the counseling office that first day, felt the energy, the energy was completely different. I, at that point, have been through 4 schools. I have 56 to 66 credits already done. So I'm coming in knowing what I want to do, knowing that I'm not trying to take a lot of electives and all this other stuff. I know what I want to do. And instantly I said, hey, business management, oh, you do a lot. You do a whole bunch. Entrepreneurship. And from the first day, I see Gretchen over there. From my first entrepreneurship class, I knew this was it. I started 2.5 years ago, knocked it out like that, no problem. I graduated in May. It's one of those things where you try and you try and you try and certain things start to get you down. So with the donors, the scholarship came in handy right at the right time. Car broke down and it was the decision between paying for books, paying rent, or paying to get the car fixed. So obviously I need a house, I need a car, books were the one thing to go. And that is, that was thank you. That was one of those things that has always been like on my mind when it came to school. I've taken off maybe 4 semesters in my 8 years of being in school, and it's always because of money. It was never because of grades, never because of like anything real trials. So, but this last semester, these 4 last semesters before graduation, car breaks down, my laptop goes out, and you're just hoping, you're praying and praying, and I get an email from Jim Shelley. And it's like, hey, if you need anything, we have an emergency fund. Instantly go talk to him, fixed. Follow up that next year, my mom gets sick. She's in remission, so let's clap for that. And my mom gets sick, and I'm taking her back and forth for treatment. I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm going to school. And car breaks down again. Now it's the tie rod and all that. And you're hoping and you're praying, and I am in the first 12 emails for a new fund y'all created or something like that. And like, hey, can we help in any way? You're a great part of this community. I'm like, well, my laptop did just go out. And that Next day, I get an email from Melissa. I go up there that Tuesday. We talk about it. We talk about everything. Money in hand that day. I take it, put it in my bank. I pay my car. I pay for the repairs on the car, and I'm back in business. I'm graduating May 11th. So I want to say thank you for continuing to give hope, because I'm one of those ones that nothing was going to stop me in general. But I know there's a lot of people with kids and dealing with even more sicknesses that I can even imagine that needs that little bit of extra hope. So continue to do it, because it helps. It really does help. And I'm a product of it. Like, this is like, y'all definitely helped me. I don't know where I'm going to be next year, but I will say if I would have came here my first 2 years, I would have been in your seats, probably donating by now. So once again, thank you. And I wouldn't be an entrepreneur if I didn't say this. I'm still looking for jobs. If y'all want to interview me, I have my cards. But thank you.
So you just heard from 4 of our fantastic student scholars. Can I get a round of applause for all 4 of them? And can you please stand again? Thank you so much for sharing your stories this morning. And my final introduction is of a very special person who has quite a history with Lakeland Community College. Many of you here today know Kathy Patterson. Kathy served as the program director of our dental hygiene department from 1973 until she retired 40 years later. In fact, she helped design the program at the request of one of Lakeland's founders, Arthur Holden. After Kathy retired in 2013, she returned as a part-time instructor. In 2013, Kathy also established the Kathy Patterson Endowed Scholarship Fund to support the continuing education of Lakeland's dental hygiene graduates. Kathy, would you please come up?
Okay. Good morning. Welcome to this beautiful building where I spend all afternoon today, right up there in that corner room, in all the glory that surrounds me with all these plants and so on. Lakeland came into being in 1967. However, the foundation didn't come into being until 1982. So what does that mean? Does that mean there was no financial assistance for students? Not really, but there certainly wasn't as much as there is today. Students had to be a little bit more resourceful in finding scholarship funding opportunities. There wasn't Google, there wasn't internet back then. So probably there were not as many students that had the opportunities that you've had to have some assistance with your education. Over the years, I've known all the directors of the foundation, but probably the one I know best is Bob Kane, because Bob would pull into the parking lot before his emeritus status and my emeritus status. We would pull into the parking lot between 6 and 6:30 and walk in. But he would tell me that he'd already done his 4 or 5 miles that morning, getting up at 4. And I was lucky to just get up and shower and drive 3 miles to get here. But what I came to learn over the years is he needed to run those 4 or 5 miles. And Greg, probably you know this too. You spend most of your life seeking out funds and going to breakfast and going to lunch and going to dinner, perhaps all in the same day with different entities saying, how much would you like to give? So that was my experience with Bob. I've not gotten to know Greg as well. I knew his father, though, because Greg's dad taught here in the English department for a number of years. So dedicating one's life to working with a foundation involves seeking and asking for contributions that ultimately can be used to enhance the lives of others who may not as readily have access to opportunities without support from other avenues. Some of what the foundation does every year is sponsor this breakfast. And thank you to Greg and your charges, your staff, Lori Principe, Jennifer Spicer, Nancy Brooks, Tracy Morris, and Maureen McGinnis. Thank you, ladies, for pitching in. I'd like to share with you a little thing that I say every year when I come into the class and meet a new group of students who look at me and think, oh man, who is this person? What's she going to have us doing? How much stress is she going to bestow upon us? And so what I say is, know that you're not someone to be tolerated so that I can do my thing. You're my reason for being. You're not dependent on me. I'm dependent on you. Know that my philosophy is that you are the most important part of this institution. Without students, this college would not exist. You're not an interruption in my work. You're the purpose of it. I'm not doing you a favor by serving you. You're doing me a favor by giving me the opportunity to do so. I don't consider you a cold, hard enrollment figure. I consider you a human being, flesh and blood human being, with feelings and emotions, just as I have. Over the years, I've cried with my students, I've laughed with them, and we've had some good times. And within the health departments, we spend 2 years with these kids and really get to know them quite well. So I celebrate the students. As I look around the room, I celebrate you as to what is all that's right in this world. We hear so much gloom and doom, but when I walk in the classroom and see faces that are smiling, maybe forced, but smiling, it spurs me on. You know, our Commission on Dental Accreditation requires us, and they've done this for decades, requires us to ask every fall, how many of you applied for financial aid and how many received it? And we have to send that data back to Chicago to the ADA so that they can run a database on this over time. And it hasn't changed. It continues to be around 90 to 95% apply, 90 to 95% receive. Last week I was last Friday, sitting at a table right here we had an interprofessional development program with all the other health students in the entire area. Nursing, dental hygiene, respiratory, rad tech, et cetera, et cetera. So there was a student from each program at each table, and they shared what their specific programs, what they were learning and what they were doing within their programs. But at the end of that session last Friday morning, I said, I have to give a little presentation next Wednesday. Would you just give me some help if I can be a little bit nosy? How many of you applied for financial aid? Everyone raised their hand. There's these tables seat 8, correct? And then I said, how many have received it? And I think all but one did not receive. So that's not atypical. That's certainly typical. And when I read that associate degree students are leaving with debts of $7,000 to $10,000, bachelor's degrees $27,000 to $35,000, and dental students, which is close to my area, the average dental school debt published by the American Dental Association is $250,000 to $300,000 by the time they complete their degree. It made me know that years ago, when the foundation came into being, I said, sign me up. I've been blessed with so many opportunities that it's time that I need to share that. And as Jamal said, he hopes to get to a point where he can give back as well. We don't all come right out of the stanchion with the ability to say, sign me up. But as time goes on, you look back and you say, wow, I've really been blessed. I've known Mr. Holden prior to this college even being thought of. And then once it came into being in 1967, this physical plant didn't come about until 1972 when I received the call and said, can you be involved? And then throughout the years of my tenure here, it's just been a gift that I needed to give back and share. One of the nicest things that happened when I left in 2013 was that the students, former graduates, charms in my bracelet of life, faculty, dentists from the community, dental societies in the area, all got their heads together unbeknownst to me and put together a fund which was put into the foundation and had my name on it. So I continue to give to that because it's what I need to do. And I'll continue to give to it until I meet my maker. So research provides compelling data to support anecdotal evidence that giving is powerful, a powerful pathway to personal growth and lasting happiness. So I'll end on a statement by Dr. Maya Angelou, who said, giving is for those who give are cheerful, those who receive are grateful, and together we're all blessed.
How about another round of applause for our speakers for sharing their inspiring stories? Thank you so much, Kathy. So I get to conclude, and want to thank you again for being here this morning to celebrate you, our donors, and our students. We appreciate all who are helping our students with gifts that foster student success, provide scholarship assistance, and innovation in teaching opportunities. We also want to thank Lubrizol's financial aid, or Lakeland, sorry, Lakeland's financial aid, marketing, technology support, and business offices for being part of the foundation team and making these student success stories possible. And finally, a special appreciation to the Lakeland Foundation for organizing these outstanding events and for what they do every day to provide resources that enhance the lives of our students. Kathy had already pointed out and named the folks on the staff for helping us. And again, I want to say a round of applause for Jen Smizer, Tracy Morris, Nancy Brooks, Maureen McGinnis, Lori Principe, Bob Kane, and Greg Sanders. Thank you. So this concludes the program for our 23rd Annual Donor Scholar Breakfast. We hope that you will feel free to visit the Hive, great place here, and the Lakeland campus often. And we look forward again to seeing you next year. Thank you.